1, 2, 3. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed.
Welcome back.
It's us, Doom Generation.
It's me, Tessa.
And me, Nicole.
Hi.
We got Kim here.
Yep, she's
Didn't talk about that.
Kim's here.
She's who? Heed. Only the opposite.
Right? She's got tiny head. We're like, Kim, where's your heed?
Right? She gets there right in front of the TV and you're like,
you can see it.
Where is she?
Right? Like a matchstick. It's like a matchstick. A pink matchstick.
Because we're talking about So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yes, which is also from 1993.
Because it's our anniversaries.
Apparently, anniversaries month that we didn't come up with a name for you.
No, we didn't.
We barely did it on purpose.
We want to thank Brandon Lickvar for joining our Patreon. Me laugh.
I'm sorry, man.
Thank you, Brandon,
Thank you,
for joining our Patreon.
Thanks for
Look
joining
for
the
him
club.
in a
Welcome.
few months in one of our photo edits because that's what you get at the $10 tier.
That's what you get. That's what you
to
get.
Be in a photo edit and
Right?
your own personalized shout out.
Oh yeah,
among
he gets to
other things.
maybe pick something that's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something will entice Brandon. I don't know. We'll see.
So if you want to be cool like Brandon, go to patreon.com/Doom Generation.
Do it.
You don't got to pay $10. You can pay $4.
She snuck in that doom.
You can pay $2.
Ooh.
Only when we have a new patron. I'm going to sneak it in the beginning.
That's true.
So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
This, like all Mike Myers movies,
So quotable
is so
All the
still in
time.
my vernacular.
all the time.
And not just the quotes themselves, but the mannerisms.
That Mike Myers shit. I'm
That Mike
telling
Myers
you,
shit.
I've been living.
I didn't
off of
realize
Mike Myers
how influential he was to my life until we started doing this show.
shit. Oh yeah.
Like, not influential like how I make my decisions in life,
Right?
but
Like,
just how I
remember-
fucking
I often ask myself, like, what would
Mike Myers do?
I have a
Yes,
little bracelet.
WWMMD.
Sure, it has a little bracelet that I
Mhm.
wear
Mm-hmm.
close to my heart. I don't know how that works.
But yeah, every movie we do of his, I'm like, oh fuck, I still say that. I still say that.
I do.
So we got Mike Myers as both Charlie and Stuart MacKenzie
And Shrek.
and Shrek. He's not.
I'm
in this.
saying every
But
single
yes.
character that he goes on to do shows up in this movie. Dr. Evil's
And
in
this
there.
is modeled after his dad, right?
That's what
he says.
Yeah, that's what he
Mhm.
says. That's what he says.
Nancy Travis as Harriet Michaels.
And I'm gonna say it, but whatever happened to her? She's probably working right
Good
now.
question. I know she was on Becker. That's because it comes on free
Wow.
TV, and I'm like,
Okay.
hey,
She was
it's
on
Harriet.
Becker.
She's in a series called Ride currently.
Currently,
Yeah,
right
see,
now.
she's
See,
still
that's
she
what I'm
out
saying.
ya.
I asked the question.
She
I
rides.
know
She's a
the
horse girl.
answer. Oh, she is. Oh, well, hello, Nancy Travis.
Oh, Last Man Standing. I didn't see that.
Oh,
seen that
oh, is it
Tim the Tool Man Taylor?
Tim the Coke dealer?
Yep.
Taylor,
That one.
or was it trafficking?
Tim
Did he
Allen.
deal it?
Mhm.
There, Tim Allen.
Did you see that meme about how Gen Z, the way they dress? Because they be wearing like slacks and all this
They
shit.
be
They're like,
wearing-
oh, you're dressed like Tim Allen in 1995. There was some meme about
they're
how
wearing,
Gen
like,
Z's dressed like
Suits
Tim Allen.
with like sneakers. Is that
I
why?
guess, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
They're getting their non-binary biz on.
Okay.
I put the slacks on.
Slacks. I like a slack.
Pleated slack. I don't
I
like a
the
pleated
pleats.
slack.
I have a pleat covers my fupa.
Good point. Maybe I need to get into a pleat.
It's my pleated fupa. I like to pull it up. Not even do the cast. So anyway, Anthony.
I was gonna say I'm making you say it because I can't, and you fucked it up. Not even the fuck upable part. You fucked up to Anthony. I know I'm gonna fuck up LaPaglia.
Anthony LaPaglia.
As Tony Giardino.
I know. I was like, "What's his name in this movie?" I was like, "It's Tony." I'm like, "No, it's not. That's his real name."
Nope,
And I'm like,
that's
"No,
also
it's
his
Tony."
name here. Amanda Plummer as Rose Michaels.
Yes. Phil Hartman is in this movie.
As Ranger Vicky.
Vicky. Charles Grodin is also in this movie.
He's just the commandeered driver.
Stephen Wright's also in this movie.
As the pilot.
Michael Richards is in this movie.
Right, just for a second.
And Alan Arkins.
And Brenda Fricker as Mae
Yes.
MacKenzie, and Matt Doherty as Heed.
William Heed MacKenzie.
Mm-hmm. Debbie Mazar as Susan. There we go.
Yeah,
She's
Debbie
in there
Mazar.
too.
Oh, Patrick Bristow as the carrot top looking motherfucker at Rhodes.
Oh, that's right. He's been in a bunch of TV stuff.
yeah. Yeah, he's funny.
So.
Beat poetry.
There she goes.
There she goes again.
There she goes. And so we open
With a song about heroin.
zooming in on the night sky over
Right.
San Francisco
San Francisco.
to
And,
Rhodes.
yeah, Rhodes on Jack Kerouac, and we have cappuccino vision.
Yes, we got the
Cappuccino
POV of this giant cappuccino being
they
made.
like dump out rinse
Other
off,
and they dump
dip
other
in, and
coffees
then-
in to make, or that was just how
that's
they.
how you make a cappuccino.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know how to. Baristas, get at us. I don't know.
And so this is served to Charlie, who of course
Right, excuse me, miss.
there
I believe
seems
I
to be a
ordered the
mistake.
large cappuccino.
Hello. That's one of the ones that
Hello.
you do still today. Is
Is
just
that
the
Mike
way you
Myers
say
shit?
that. Hello.
This is my first note. That that Mike Myers shit.
Yep.
Tony is there. He's dressed like Huggy Bear.
You
he
guys
is, in
know who
fact-
Huggy Bear is? Starsky and Hutch. Come
They
on.
mentioned Starsky.
Oh no,
and
yeah,
Hutch
they say
twice.
that's yes, they do.
That's what he.
That's
wants
why
out of
he
the cat.
became a cop. I think is because
Yeah, because
Starsky
of
and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch, and so he could dress up as Huggy Bear. That's why he wants to be undercover.
Yes,
Anthony LaPaglia.
and he is not undercover in that outfit.
No, he's sticking out. He's wearing those fucking tequila shoes.
Yes. And so Charlie is going up. It's apparently like open mic night, and he's gonna go up and do some of his poetry.
Oh yeah, that woman thing, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes up and it's like,
Oh
Like
wait,
I-
before we do that though, we got to talk about why he keeps breaking up with girls because of that fucking
oh
line that
right.
he
He
says.
tells him, oh my god. Well, that's what he says. He's like, well, why did you break up with her? Like, oh, she stole.
She's a klepto.
She's a klepto. I still don't know where my cat is to this day. And he was like, every time you get
close to a
close
girl,
to
you
a
have
girl,
some
you
paranoid thing where you
come up
break
with
up with
some
them.
delusion as to why you need so. They're like Jill, she was in
The
the mafia. Pam, she smelled like soup.
Like beef vegetable soup.
Which I know exactly what that smells like, and now I want some beef vegetable soup.
I know, it's kind of delicious. I don't know if
really
I'd want
good.
my mate to smell like beef vegetable
No,
soup.
because then
but
I would constantly want beef.
Right?
If there was like a promise of beef vegetable soup and then no soup, I'd be so mad.
It's like that Mitch Hedberg cinnamon roll joke.
Yes.
We had cinnamon roll incense we bought from Mitch Hedberg's website.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yep. I'm
R.I.P.
still
Mitch.
so mad. I'm still so mad.
So now he goes up on stage after this conversation and the
Right.
jazz band starts.
Right.
Dun,
It's
dun, dun, dun.
and here he goes.
Woman!
Whoa, man.
Whoa, man!
She was a thief. You gotta believe. She stole my heart and my cat. Betty,
Judy,
Josie, and those hot pussy cats.
they make me horny.
Saturday morning,
Girls of cartoons won't leave me in ruins.
I want to be Betty's Barney. Hey, Jane, get me off this crazy thing called love.
He blows out that candle. Everyone, woo! Yep. Snap it up.
Snap it up.
Snap it up. And so, like, I'm not even to that point yet, but let's just get it out of the way.
Right, like, what
this
does
is
he
not
do?
his job.
No, this is not his job. In fact,
You
we
don't
didn't-
get paid for this.
No, we didn't even learn that he had a job.
We never questioned or knew what his job was until we did this episode.
And on the description for the episode on Max, by the way, which is where it's
Oh, yeah, this is available on Max right now.
It says bookstore owner.
Yeah, falls in love with the butcher shop owner. But
Right.
bookshop owner.
You never see a bookshop.
There's
Is
no
there
bookshop.
like deleted scenes I'm not aware of
Maybe.
where he has the book? There's a couple of scenes in a montage where he's like reading a book.
Right, that's it. That's your only clue.
He's got like books.
But for that to be part of the description,
right, like why is that
bookstore
even a
owner?
Because like what they could just say poet,
Yeah, poet would have made more
beat
sense.
poet.
But then why is he not homeless?
right? I wanted to know how like a butcher and a bookshop owner have these places.
They've got to
in
be
San
successful
Francisco.
bookshops and butchers. I mean, she was busy that day.
She
She'd be
was
selling
busy that
haggises for
day.
$20 a piece.
Right. Well, how many people? Like, you got to sell like one haggis. You got to
Why
sell
would you
like a
even
haggis.
keep that? That should be a thing where you're like, I can have one made,
She,
but
like-
I don't keep those in
right.
the shop.
I don't keep a haggis on hand. Well, it takes like a lot to make it, isn't it? Right. Puts it in the little fupa patch. I
Of
got
your-
one right
of
here.
your
It's my
khakis.
haggis. That's what I call this now.
Your
It's
haggis.
my haggis.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Because yeah, all he does is drive his little Carmen Gia
Right,
around the
his hot
city
little
all day.
gear around like, oh yeah, he just stops off. Like he's got nothing to fucking do.
No,
He stops off at Meats of the World to get a haggis.
for his parents' dinner that night.
Right, yeah, like fucking 1975 for fucking meat and monies. He like goes to dinner. I brought you a haggis, and his mom's like,
SATURDAY night.
SATURDAY. Oh, Bay
night.
City Rollers, baby.
And they do. Is it Ned's Atomic Dustbin in the closing credits is doing a cover
of Saturday Night?
I don't know if is it Ned's Atomic
Is it?
Dustbin? Yeah. That's how I think I was introduced to them.
Oh,
Was
I'm sure.
that they was on the soundtrack?
Of
I think for
course.
this movie.
Of course.
Oh, and Two
Oh, I
Princes.
fucking
Yeah,
hate
that's
the Spin
coming up.
Doctors. I hate him then. I hate
It's
him
coming
now.
up.
I hate it. I have a whole note about how like was never into the. I hated the fucking song most of all.
But Dad's in there dancing to Bay City Rollers.
Right, he's dusting off the Scottish Wall of Fame.
And he's watching the football. Tony's already there. He gets
Yeah.
there before.
He gets
Before
there before
Charlie.
Charlie, and
I was a little confused because, well, no, because he's like, don't wear that outfit to my parents' house. Like something about the way that exchange was made it seem like this was a first visit, but they've clearly known each
Right,
other for
they-
like their whole lives or something.
right. They must have grown up together.
Because
like,
she says something later about how.
he's grown up into a right sexy wee bastard.
Yeah, that's what she says.
While she's molesting him.
And so he shows up, give your mother a kiss or I'll
Oh,
kick your teeth in. And try on one of your. He goes with his mom. He's like, try on one of her bras, you wee girl. Float away, you fairy.
Right. And I guess this is his dad.
That's what he
stuff
said.
his
Is
dad
that's how
would
his
say?
dad was apparently.
But anyhow, he mentions the pentaveret.
Yes,
Which, as we all know, because we all have closely followed Mike Myers' career, over
is
these
now a
many years,
Netflix series.
Is he finally got that done? I guess he
Mhm.
got that Netflix money, and he could do that. So it's the Queen,
Yes,
the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the Colonel.
He hates him because he puts an addictive chemical in the chicken that makes you crave it fortnightly.
Fortnightly, which I say all the time. My kid said something about wanting KFC. I was like, first of all, where did you like?
Right? Why are you asking
Why
randomly?
are you asking? Second, like mashed potatoes. All
Yeah,
right,
actually,
I could do that. Maybe I will.
Sure.
But don't you know that the Colonel puts a chemical in this chicken that makes you crave it?
Spread the
fortnightly?
conspiracy.
Right. He's like the next generation has to know.
And so mom is in there reading the weekly world news.
Right. She's juicing everything.
She's on the
now.
Garth Brooks juice diet. And in the living room, William's fucking heat is in the
Move
way.
your head, move.
Look at the size of that boy's heat. It's like an orange on a toothpick.
Got its own weather system.
It's like a planetoid. He tells his mom, Charlie tells his mom he broke up with Sherry. And
Right.
she's like, oh, God, again?
Come on. I liked Sherry.
Why is he terrified of marriage? It's not
I
his.
know.
It's not the woman that he needs to be afraid of in this situation. He just doesn't want to be like his dad, maybe.
I don't know, because they see, I mean, like, even though it's whatever, like, even at their anniversary thing, they seem to have kind of a cute
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah,
I
totally.
don't know why he would be terrified of marriage.
Yeah,
Like, it
I mean,
seems
they've
like
been
for no
married
reason.
forever. So.
Yeah, I don't know for what reason, but she's like, well, maybe you have a good reason, because did you read the paper?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Ma.
She tells him about Mrs. X, the honeymoon murderer.
Right.
who marries men under fake identities and murders them.
Right. He was like, Mom, I find it rather interesting that you refer to the Weekly World News as the paper.
And so, yeah, she's trying to spook him with well, she's not trying to spook him, but she's just talking about why maybe it's better off.
She read, right. And like the number one, it was Mrs. X, the honeymoon murderers. There's 3 men already, a lounge singer, a Russian martial arts expert, and a plumber named Ralph Elliott.
So random.
Her whereabouts are unknown.
Now, Dad's wasted. He's singing.
pissed.
And did you notice that there's a tank of eels behind
Yeah.
him?
Because he's
What
like
a weird
them?
thing to have.
Are they going to eat them?
I don't think so. That's like their pets. It's such a weird thing to have. And Tony goes to say goodnight and give Mom a kiss goodbye. And woo!
Oh, man. She's like all getting
She
up
lays
in the
it on him.
melgas. Yeah, you've grown up to be a sexy,
sexy wee
wee
bastard.
Yeah. Fine, go. You stayed your hour.
Yeah, and she asked Charlie if hasn't he, and Charlie's like, "Oh yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
so.
he's-
He's grown up to be a
he's-
sexy wee bastard.
He's hot.
Uh,
So now Charlie's out. He drives by Meats of the World and he sees little Dutch girl
she's like, yeah, she's all dressed up like a Dutch girl,
know.
rolling up the blinds.
looking out here. Like there's no traffic. And he's driving that Carmangia in the
It's because
streets
he's
of
driving
San
while people are
Francisco.
working, Tessa.
I guess.
Everyone else
guess.
has a job in
I
the city
guess.
to
He's
pay
just
their
like-
rent.
With the gear shift though on them hills.
I know, because that's a manual.
Yeah.
They didn't make automatic Carmangias, I don't
believe
think.
so. I almost fell out of one of those.
My first boyfriend drove a Carmangia, but yellow.
Oh, man, that thing was
He tried to teach me to drive stick in it, but
no,
no.
in that?
It was just. I just keep sputtering to a fucking stop.
Oh, it was awful.
So now we're at the police station with Tony and the captain,
Yes.
Alan Arkins,
Alan Arkins.
who's too nice.
Right. He's like, you got to do more of that captain thing, right? Is
Yeah.
this where he
Well,
tells
he's
him,
getting
like,
all bummed about. I thought this was going to be like Serpico.
Right. Like, I want
to chase a guy.
attitude. And, like, I've never even commandeered a vehicle.
I want to hang off the bottom part of the hill. No, you
know the
don't.
thing- no, you don't. But, like, the little thing in the
Yeah, where they land.
No, you don't.
And he wants him to be like the captain on Starsky and Hutch.
Right. And he's like, I wanted to be Serpico, not Barney Miller. Is what
Yes.
he wanted to do.
Someone needs a hug.
Yeah. And he's like, come on.
Cap is not getting it.
No.
So now Charlie's over here peeping in the butcher shop, watching the girl.
He goes to see Harriet.
And it's crowded as fuck.
super
This is not the
biz,
time.
Right?
And he just walks up to the front of the line. That old man's like,
Excuse me.
it's my turn.
Pardon. And she's like, do you even really like
Haggis?
Haggis?
Yeah. And he's like, no. It's
I
disgusting.
pretty much
It's
figure
repellent
that
in every way.
Scottish cuisine is based on a dare.
He's like, oh, my dad's a butcher. You need some help? Like, I used to work at his shop. Let me. And like,
Yeah,
is
like,
that okay?
I don't know. Like,
I mean, I
none
guess
of
if
it
you
seems
own the
like it's
butcher
okay.
shop,
It's her shop.
she can decide.
It's not like he completely
But like, you would
fucked things
accept
up.
this stranger's help just based on him saying my dad worked in a butcher
Did
shop?
you see these fucking people in her shop?
That's true.
I
They're
would take
bloodthirsty,
my
literally.
chances.
They want their meat.
I want my meat. So we've got this butcher montage. They're out there playing with the meat with like their
Yes, he's
bare
pretending
hands
like
and, like,
alien. Yes, he's
room
pretending it's like
temperature
alien
meat.
coming out of his
He's, like,
guts and his
rubbing
hand.
it.
Yes, he's
Oh.
massaging it. No
Yeah.
gloves. No gloves.
And is this where she cut her finger off?
I think so. So
Or
in
the
one
tip
of these
her finger,
scenes
excuse
where
me.
there, it had to be this one because it was when they were playing with the meat and she was cutting
right.
stuff
She's
and he's goofing around and she literally cut the tip of her finger off.
Yeah.
And they had to have it
Like-
sewn back on.
yeah. And then they went back to filming.
And so
his
I
fuckery.
looked for the clip where supposedly her finger's all bandaged up, which is real, and I
Yeah.
didn't notice
No,
because
I
there
didn't
was so
either.
much
I knew that, and I
shenanigans
still-
happening.
It's so much shit. It's all that Mike Myers shit. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. So and like at that one point, he throws the meat and it hits that lady in the face. Like that is not okay, you guys.
Right?
You
He's
can't
like,
be
I
just
gotta go to
throwing
the
raw
nurse.
meat.
I gotta go to the nurse.
He goes
They're
up to that lady,
playing-
Mom.
They're playing with meat.
Mhm.
It's not. I would never go to that butcher shop again.
No. If I was watching that happening, I wouldn't buy my meat there. You
Right?
just fucking touched it all with your hands
I'd be
and
like,
put
you
it up
have
your
served
sleeve.
like 2 people since you got here.
Right?
Fucking
Nobody
around.
got their orders that day.
My baby is crying. It needs its meat.
It needs its meat. Cold meat, mutton
Mutton
pies.
pies. Tell
Cold
me
when
when
your
your
mother
mother
dies.
dies.
I'll be there.
To
Okay.
bury her.
So they
Anyway.
go out to dinner to say thanks, I guess,
Right.
or just because at the end of the day, they make it through the day. They go and
Right. They
and
go out. She thanks him, and she was like, "That was nice." He's like, "Oh, nice.
Evidently, you think of me as a woman friend.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, well, but
Okay.
you don't want to be a nice guy.
All
so.
right. I mean, I guess.
Not in that way, anyway.
But you're kind of being a nice guy right now by
Yes.
making that little comment.
And she asked him about one bad thing he's done, but he's like, "Well, you first,
Yeah,
and
but
it better
it's gotta
be evil."
but like real evil. Like you gotta say it like
Evil.
evil. Like it's
The
the
fruits
fruits
of
of
the devil, which I still
all
say.
the time.
Fucking fruits of the devil, yes.
Fruits of the devil.
And he asks her, "How many people have you brutally murdered?"
And she's like, brutal is very subjective. Like, what's brutal to one may be reasonable to someone else.
And she does not answer the question.
No, she sure don't.
So some Russian sailors pass by talking some mess in Russian.
Right? And she turns around and she's like,
She replies, talks some shit. I
Right.
wonder if there's probably captions somewhere you could have, when you had captions on,
no,
did it translate
I did,
it?
and it just said speaking
Speaking
Russian.
Russian. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, which, by the way, I meant to say something when he was doing the poem thing or when we were doing the poem thing. Because I had the subtitles on, woman and then woe man was spelled WOE man.
Oh, I always thought of it as
Me
WHOA,
too,
like,
but
whoa,
I guess the
man.
third one is the whoa.
Oh,
man.
so it's, whoa. Okay,
I
so
don't
when
know,
I
in
do the
this-
title, remind me to type it that way.
Right, because it was on Max was the captions that said that. So I'd never seen it
Interesting.
before, never noticed it.
It makes
But in
sense
this
for
one-
the content of his poems.
Right, because it's...
But it never occurred to me.
Yeah, so that was what that was. But yes, it just said speaking Russian. Every time she
Okay.
would say something, it just said speaking
Oh.
Russian.
The sailor says she looks a little thin.
Oh,
She
the
looks a
sailor's
little
talking
thin.
about her looking a little thin.
Isn't that why... oh, that's weird, because doesn't it... when
Do
she
Russians
was
like a
the-
thick girl?
I guess so. She looks really good to me. And Harriet says, yes, very good. Sailor 1 says, damn, she understands Russian. Harriet says, see you later, boys.
Oh, that was lame, kind of.
Which is weird because I knew she said that because of watching that 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
That
you knew it
Mount
was.
Cheeky- yeah, I knew that was like
later
see you
boys.
boys or something about boys. Like I assumed based on the context. 'Cause, wow, you guys, I speak Russian.
Good to know.
It's like when I'm watching something in Spanish and they start speaking English, I'm like, oh,
Whoa!
You're,
oh, yeah.
suddenly
Oh, wait, no.
understand.
A miracle has happened.
So Charlie's like, "Oh shit, you're extremely good looking and also very
Right,
smart."
like, man.
That's not fair.
Right, and it's like this very sweet.
Yeah, and she's like,
Like-
"Oh, do I intimidate you?" And he's like, "No,
No,
but
but
now I have to destroy
I'll have
you."
to destroy you.
And then he goes dancing around like
Let
a
us
ballet
frolic into the
dancer.
night.
Expand, contract, expand,
Yes.
contract.
She's like, well, what do you look for in a woman that you date? He's like, you know what? Some people say a sense of humor, but for me,
I gotta go with breast
gotta go with
size.
breast.
Come, let us dance
Yes.
like children of the night.
And then he tells her that rumor about Rod Stewart, that the stomach pumping story.
Did he
that
say
gets-
that? I did
no,
not
but
even
like
hear that.
that's what he said something about getting Rod Stewart. Then he had to get his stomach pumped, which that's
did
that
not even
same
catch
rumor
that.
about like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
semen in the stomach that gets reincarnated.
Which Chris had never
every
heard.
Generation.
Were you here when I mentioned that in
Yeah,
front
yeah.
of him? And he was like, "What are you talking about?
They
Like
do
you
it.
never
they've,
heard
like,
that?"
I've heard that about like 8 different musicians. That they had
Yes,
to get
yeah,
their
it's
stomach
never the
pumped
same
because
person
no,
twice.
It's never the same person twice. It's always like every generation. It's the new
Has their own dude who
that
had to have
get
semen pumped
pumped
out of their stomach. Yep.
It's like that.
because back in the day it was like Bowie.
It was
Yeah,
Bowie, it was Rod
Bowie,
Stewart, it was
like Marilyn Manson, I believe, had to do it. Half of New Kids on the Block.
Rolling Stone singer.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
of them.
All
They
them,
all
all
had
them.
to do it, but like every single generation has it. It's the same thing with like removing a rib in multiple contexts.
Yeah.
Either to
Everybody
be thin or to suck
Suck your own
themselves
dick.
off.
Yeah. So
So
anyway,
anyhow.
they go back to her place, which is super cool.
Which is amazing. Like he's like, you know what this place needs? Gigantic
giant
poster
of Atlantic City.
Oh, there it is.
And that thing was like 6 feet high. That was a huge
It
poster.
was huge. I couldn't even afford to get that frame. Like, isn't that what Liana was saying? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't even afford to get that frame, let alone
No, that
have
apartment.
this apartment, or whatever the fuck it was. It was like a house.
Yeah, I don't. Well, they have them brownstones or whatever they call them in San Francisco, where it's like the multi-level.
That's
So maybe
true.
they had the upstairs, maybe, or they had
They
had
were
both double
downstairs,
decker.
upstairs. They were throughout
So they had a
that
full
whole fucking.
That's their parents have to
That's
have
what I'm
died and left that to
saying.
them
They
because you
must have-
never meet her parents.
Mm-mm.
There's no mention
Rose
of them.
says it's theirs. Like it's
yeah,
you
that
know,
has to have been
whatever.
left to them
It had to have been. There's no fucking way.
because Rose, if she has a job, you never.
Well, that and if Harriet's moving around all over
Yeah,
the place.
yeah.
Excuse me, guys. It's a 25-year-old movie.
right?
or
Oh fuck,
30-year-old
we're blowing
movie.
it. We're blowing it.
Sorry.
So she
Sorry.
mentions having lived in Atlantic City, and then
Right.
she has this martial arts thing set up with like the uniform and the weapons all displayed.
Right. And she was like, I don't know. I just thought it
I just thought it looked good on the
like, yeah,
wall.
so I put it on the wall.
And he talks about Scotland's martial arts.
Right. Fuck,
Fuck
you.
you! Headbutting and kicking people while they're on the ground.
Right. And, I'll make some tea
Yeah.
at womb room or
She's like, well, maybe it's late.
thunderfuck or
He's
whatever.
like, oh, but I like the nightlife.
I like to boogie.
So she goes to make the tea, and then suddenly he's like, well, actually,
You
maybe
know
it is
what?
late.
Yeah.
Because
And if-
we're going to end up sleeping together.
Yeah, we're gonna kiss I'm gonna kiss you, and then we're gonna kiss on the couch. If we kiss on the couch, we'll kiss in the bed, and
She's like, I want to spend the night together.
all right, let's do it.
Okay, let's
Take
go.
your pants down and do this shit.
Yeah, and he chases her upstairs, dropping his pants. Okay, men.
I
I'm
mean,
not saying don't do it.
I don't know.
Don't
I mean,
do it
read
on the
room.
first
It
sexual
worked.
interaction, but it did
worked.
work. It did work.
worked.
That's
I mean,
a special lady.
That's a special
lady you got
Harriet,
there, Charlie.
You're a special lady.
And he's startled awake by her yelling out in her sleep for
Ralph!
Ralph.
Oh, Ralph!
Mm.
Oh,
And he wakes her up like, you're calling out for Ralph. And she's like, oh, she's my friend.
And he's like, oh,
She? Your friend
she's
Ralph?
your
She?
friend. Okay.
And so the next morning he comes downstairs in just his button-down
just-
shirt and chonies.
Why? Why
don't
did he
know.
think that was going to be the move in the harsh light of day? At what, like 10:30, whenever the fuck
Whenever
he woke
up.
because
He has no fucking job.
no responsibilities, nowhere to fucking be. She had to be at the butcher shop.
And now, so he came from upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
The bathroom was upstairs. He didn't hear the shower running or notice anyone in the shower till he got downstairs and saw the silhouette
Yeah,
in the shower.
in this weird phone booth shower that they have that's visible.
From the living room.
Right.
And
I mean,
kitchen.
it's cool, but like
It is cool, but it's weird.
It is. It is.
So he goes up thinking that's Harriet and opens the shower door and oh,
no,
it's a
that is not.
stranger.
That's not. That's somebody. It's Amanda Plummer. Ah!
And I don't understand how by the time he put his pants, shoes, and socks on, not only was she sitting down there on the couch, she was dry. Her hair was dry.
Right? It was. Maybe she
Within
did
2
she not
minutes.
wet it?
I swear. Well, maybe she had it pinned up in the shower, but I thought it was wet for some reason.
If your hair's really damaged, it does dry really fast.
That's
But that
true.
we're talking in the time to put pants, a belt, shoes, and socks
Right?
on. I mean, that was not long.
Well, maybe he took his sweet ass time because he ain't got nowhere to be.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm her sister. She left a note for you."
and
she's
then
like,
she like
reads
it
the
to him.
note.
He's like, oh, okay.
And she's like, "Oh, you want to have breakfast? What about silver dollar pancakes?
Yeah,
fresh squeezed orange juice, bacon, and Kona coffee." And he's like, "Oh, all right."
All right. And then she serves Fruit Loops.
She pours him a bowl of Fruit Loops. Oh,
Sorry.
I didn't have those other things.
Right?
Red flag.
Okay. Well, this is the sister. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
So she's talking about her and Harriet share this place, but Harriet comes and goes.
Right. But she always ends up back here.
She didn't speak of me?
Right? He's
Nope.
like, no. She spoke of
Which,
martial arts.
Harriet,
Harriet.
you left
Harriet.
this man in your apartment knowing your
not
weird
mention-
sister's going to be
Yeah.
there when he wakes up.
Like, oh, my sister will be here in the morning.
Like, she don't
but,
know
like,
all the way how weird her sister is, but she knows how weird her sister is.
Oh, that went right up my nose. Did you see that?
You got no. She got Modelo right up her nose.
Ooh, limon. Y sal
Extra spicy.
in my nariz.
So he tells her about her shouting Ralph, and she just starts laughing.
Right. Well,
Well,
she's
you
like,
know
they
Harriet.
spoke of them. Or
Oh,
she
yeah.
spoke of them. Like, and then he says Ralph, and like, oh, you know Harriet. He's like, well, actually,
I don't.
oh, but you slept with her.
Hello.
Hello.
And she's like, I'm not going to tell Harriet that anything happened. And
He's
he's
like,
like,
"Whoa, wait, why would
"Whoa,
you-"
Nothing did happen.
Why? And she's like, oh, nothing. You know, just be
Just
careful.
be careful. And then, 1, 2, princess here before you. Go ahead now.
No.
And Charlie and Tony are on the police boat headed to Alcatraz. Why
Like,
did they
just-
take the police
right?
boat?
Like, because also Tony's got nowhere to be. There's no crime in San Francisco. Tony solved it all.
Nothing.
So
Nope.
they could
He's
just
done.
They could take
Paperwork's
the,
all that's left.
Hey, that's all he's got to do. He just has to initial in a couple places,
Yep.
dot a couple I's,
And
couple
they-
lowercase J's.
Are going to take this tour of Alcatraz, which they have clearly done many times.
Right, because we see, oh, Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
John Johnson, but everyone calls me
Vicky.
Vicky. Oh, he's the best. I love
They
Vicky.
love Vicky. And so he's
See,
talking
this
about.
is why I've never been to Alcatraz, because I'll never get Vicky. So
Oh
why go?
yeah, so why go?
Why go?
I
Why
know.
go?
Well, plus
been
now you
past
know
it.
you don't want to take that boat.
Well, now I fucking know that. I was actually have a note about that. That fucking boat, barf. I would have barf.
That's
all
why they
over the
stood on
sign.
the front.
No, even then, I did everything I was supposed to. I recently went on a boat, and I got so sick. And I did all of the things you're supposed to. I took the Dramamine. I looked at the horizon. I started drinking even. Nope.
Pearl City, baby.
Pearl City, baby. Nope. I'm not a seafaring people. I do not belong in the sea. I belong in the streets. I do not.
I know I was on boats a lot when I was young because my mom's brothers had like motorboat, like speedboats.
Lake boats, fine, sure, but not ocean boats.
I've been to Catalina though, but I went
Ooh.
on a different kind of boat. I went on the Catalina cruiser,
The Catalina
or whatever that
Flyer
big
or
ass
whatever that
boat or
thing
whatever
is.
it's
I
called.
don't know. Well, I've been on that big ferry to San Francisco pier, but like that doesn't even move.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like a
a
huge,
ferry's like a fucking huge.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like being
huge.
on
It's like-
land.
yeah.
You don't even realize it's on the
you
water.
see the water going by, but it's not moving at all.
True.
But
So
yeah,
anyway, they take the
anyhow.
boat out to Alcatraz.
I would have barfed. I don't know why they didn't.
Vicky's telling them something that the other guards won't tell them.
Right? Who did he say it
Machine Gun Kelly
Yes,
had a
he-
bitch
was?
in this block.
What we call a bitch.
And one night, in a jealous rage, he took a shiv and cut out the bitch's eyes.
Later.
And then
Him
Charlie starts talking, and
Right,
they're
he's like,
"Oh,
not
shush, shush, shush,
during
shush,
Vicky's
shush, shush."
story, shush, 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 because later,
If
him
this
and four
wasn't
other
enough
guys
retribution,
took turns
Pissing.
pissing in his ocular cavity.
cavities. This way to the cafeteria.
Right, it's time for lunch.
And so Charlie is throughout this. Charlie's been telling Tony how happy he is with Harriet, and please don't let me
don't
screw
let me
this
fuck
one
this
up.
Yeah,
And before we find out whether he's going to fuck it up, it is a perfect time to take a break.
I think this is. I think it's good.
We'll be right back.
He's gonna fuck it up. Am I supposed to do that?
Hey, you guys!
Guess what we got for you?
Ooh, it's a surprise.
Discounts.
Ooh, get there now.
8bitzombie.com. I'm telling you, I got some shirts from there. I got some stickers from there. This is good quality shiz.
Yes, else we wouldn't be telling you about it right now.
He throws in some little extras, like some cool trading cards, like Mr. T, Jurassic Park, stuff like that.
Before he even knew.
Yes,
She
that was just.
was.
I found them online. I ordered some shirts because I couldn't find a Chainsaw and Dave shirt anywhere else.
No.
Or a cartoon Beetlejuice shirt anywhere else.
No, and that Bebop shirt, I want it.
So 8, BITZOMBIE.com, code DOOM. DOOM for 10% off. Get over there now.
Today.
And we're back.
We're back. The
For real
AC is
this
not
time.
on.
And it's the montage of happy dates.
Yes, happy relationship montage. Yay. Don't let me mess this up.
And they meet Tony and his gal Susan at the diner, who
Right.
you never see before or again.
No, because she's not good at this game.
Yeah,
so
they're
like a
playing
little-
What's Worse.
Right. They're having a little quadruple date. Deb is
A
not good.
quadruple date.
What?
That's a double date.
Well, I guess so, huh?
Oh, there are 4 couples? Who did I miss?
No, there's just 4 people. I don't know why I didn't consider that a double date. Wow. I
Like,
made
who
that
else was there?
needlessly complicated. Everybody at the diner.
I guess. So yeah, so they're doing the What's Worse game. And Harriet does the one about,
Dumb
what's
as
worse, a
fuck.
scabby Band-Aid.
Right.
Or you find a scabby Band-Aid in your food or something like that.
Yeah, or you get electrocuted.
And
That's it. You just get electrocuted. Like I've been electrocuted before and it's awful. And it is. I hate being electrocuted.
I'm so used to it now.
Oh, I hate it.
Ah.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't even want to play like any kind of fucking games.
I
where,
do
like,
that
you
one,
illustrate
even though I know it's
electricity.
fake, that Fester game where you hold the things and it does the electrode things.
I won't even do that
I
shit
love it.
because I hate it so much.
Doesn't bother me a bit.
I mean, it doesn't work for the game, but it's just shitty.
I'm
I
pretty
fucking
sure it's just vibrating really fast.
hate it. Well, yeah, it is obviously.
So anyway, they go out and it's pouring rain.
They want to get a cab. Tony wants to get a cab, but Harriet wants to walk in the rain.
And so they go for a walk and they're going to meet his parents. She's going to meet his
Right.
parents tomorrow night.
Exactly. And she mentions how like she feels safe with him and how she feels like it's like the good old days when people stayed together forever.
Yeah. He's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, the lightning strikes and whatever, and he starts to have palpitations.
Yes. So the next night, they arrive at his parents for dinner.
Right. He mentions that he's throwing them a 30th wedding anniversary party, that they had moved into that house the day they got married, and it's all cute. She goes in, meets Mom, who's like, oh, she's reading the Weekly
the face
World
of an
News.
angel.
Yes, and Charlie's dad comes up and puts his
in his
hand
fucking
on
boxers and
him.
sock
Right,
garters.
and she like puts him in a arm lock. Right, like
He likes
that's
her.
my
She's
dad.
quite
yeah,
a filly.
Yeah, she's a fella. He's like, oh, so Charlie tells me you're a bitcher.
You link your own sausage.
Actually, I do.
Heed pants. No. So Mom takes Harriet off to show her Charlie's baby pictures.
Right, he's just a wee baby.
And he's got to go to the bathroom because he's got to pickle up his arse again.
Right, yeah, he's apparently I've got to pickle up me arse. And like, are you going away to crap again?
Did you fall in?
Yeah,
His
lights
dad's
a
out there
match.
just embarrassing
I
him.
know, they have that dartboard with the queen on it.
Yes. And he sees in the bathroom the Weekly World News
Right,
headline
and he was
about
like,
Mrs. X.
Wait a minute. Some of these things are adding up.
He peeks out at her talking to his mom, and she catches his eye. He's
Right?
like,
She
"Whoop."
like looks at him like that's kind of a moment.
And so he, she asks her about the martial arts friend, and her face kind of tightens and is like,
Well,
"Oh no,
no,
that's
he
on the
asked
car
her
ride home."
later, yeah,
so
on the
yeah,
ride
so
home,
everything
he
goes
asked her.
well at dinner.
She
Blah, blah,
really
blah.
likes his family.
Yes.
Like they like her. She likes them. He asks her about the martial arts expert, and she was like, "No, that was in
Miami,
Miami." And he's like, "Oh fuck, was that before or after
Atlantic City?"
And she's like, "You know what?
I don't like talking about
really
that
don't want to
period."
talk about that period of my life." You
and
know,
yeah, and he's like lying awake that night next to her, like,
right?
"Oh,
like,
God."
oh no,
And she starts saying Ralph again, but this time it's like, no,
Right.
Ralph.
yeah, don't, Ralph.
It's got a
no.
different tone to it.
Exactly. So Charlie goes to Tony with his suspicions,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, Tony's like, therapy. Get
2
help.
words.
Yeah,
Therapy.
He's like, you're always doing this. You're always getting scared. You think she's the one.
Yeah, you're just scared of marriage.
Right. You think marriage equals death. So he's like, no, just read this.
And so
Please.
they find out one of these guys could sing Only You in 6 languages.
Right, and
He's
he's
like,
like,
well,
well,
does she do that?
He's like, well, we haven't reached that point in our
The
relationship.
critical
yeah,
Only
we're
You
like,
stage.
Only you stage.
And so he asked him to please just indulge me. Just look up this
Right.
case and see, like, what's the deal about it? Like, is there a picture of this wife? What's happening?
Right. He was like, there's like no information on any of this shit.
He
So-
says these men were reported missing, but there's no bodies.
right, like nobody's
They're
dead.
just missing. And so he's like,
For all
okay.
we know, they moved.
He sort of
Like,
feels better.
There's no information on anybody. It's a Weekly World News article
Mm-hmm.
right there next to Bat Boy.
Yes.
At least he's been spotted. I mean,
He's our child.
I know.
With
Our young Bat Boy.
yes.
Our
I
son.
have a-
Gary. Our boy.
Our boy. Could you imagine naming Bat Boy Gary?
Yes.
Hilarious. So that night on A Current Affair,
Wow.
while
This
doing
is
the
like
Thigh Master,
is so okay.
I had a Thigh
so
Master. It was my mom's,
Mike
but I used
Myers with that floppy auburn hair,
Mhm.
a current affair, and a Thigh Master.
it. Mm-hmm.
The most.
You couldn't get more
Oh,
90s.
and she mentions, did Amy do it or not? And we all
Oh,
know
we
she's
know what
talking about
Amy-
Fisher.
Amy Fisher, baby.
Drew Barrymore was the best Amy Fisher.
Joey Buttafuoco.
Joey Buttafuoco.
Fuoco. So she comes in. Oh, and so the Current Affair is talking about how the most
Right.
common poisoning
It's
is happening
couples.
between couples,
Right.
and Harriet comes in with a surprise for him.
Oh, she made him a health
a
shake.
health shake.
With strawberries. You
At
love
like
strawberries.
10 p.m. while the Current
I
Affair
know.
is on, you made him a health shake
He's trying to
for
do
bed.
a Thigh Master. I mean, like maybe that's
Oh,
why
because he was
like,
trying to
getting
get
in
fit.
shape. I don't know.
I love the way the Thigh Master, because I
Like,
did that.
Oh yeah, when you
Trying to
sends it-
use the Thigh Master and it just flies into the fucking
if
air.
you never sent a Fly Master, Fly Master.
That's what it should be called, because that's what
Yes.
it did.
If you never sent a Thigh Master flying, you never used a Thigh Master.
That's the only way to use it.
it's the only
Every
thing.
10th pump, you gotta.
Whoa, shit! You gotta start
You
all
gotta
over
run and
again.
get it.
The only person that could do it without doing that is Suzanne Summers.
That's it.
That's it.
Or maybe they just cut the ads so that you thought
Right?
She was also flinging
she
that
took
fucking
so
Thigh
many
Master.
Thigh Masters to the face.
And then his excuse for why he won't drink the health shake, I have kitten breath. What is
Right? What does that even mean?
That's
I want
nothing
to go
to
brush
do
my
with
teeth. Like
anything.
what? Okay.
And she's like, fine, forget it. And he backs into this closet.
Oh my God, who the fuck? Okay, I asked you this earlier, but who the fuck has like a windowed closet?
A glass
door?
closet. You want to hide the shit in your
You
closet.
don't want to see the shit in your closet. That's where I put shit I don't want to fucking look at.
And all of the stuff that fell on his head had to be 10 feet higher.
Like I said,
full
there was
of
like
junk.
a soccer ball, a fucking single boot, bowling pin, winter jacket.
Just for a gag. That was
right. Like that was a lot.
Somebody
It was a long way to
released
go.
a
It
whole
was
big ton of
long
shit
way
on
to
his head.
fucking go.
So later he's reading the Thigh Master directions in bed when she comes in and apologizes.
Right.
And he apologizes. And she's like, let's scratch. And they do
Right,
the
they
little
do a little-
back scratchy.
Want to reach around and get Coit Tower?
Yeah, like the map
San
on his
Andreas
back.
Fault.
Whoa, hello. And she's like, what I like best about you is I can tell you anything and you don't judge me.
Like, just look at us. Look at how close we are. Like, you never really know. You ever think about, like,
Pushing someone off a
at, like,
cliff or a
cliff or
subway
whatever.
platform? He's like, no.
No, I do that Judeo-Christian thing of, like,
Thou shalt not kill.
And then she talks about, like, look at us right now. Like, how vulnerable we are. Like, I could just stick
Like a
something
needle in your ear.
Like,
She puts
oh, God. She's like, I'm just trying to say. Like,
He's like, I'm sorry, but I saw this episode of Night Gallery. And they put this earwig in this guy's ear,
Right,
and then they
they
get
had
it out,
everything
but they're like,
look weird.
oh, but it
She's
had
like,
babies.
Never mind. Just good night. Good night. He's like, oh, I'm a human blanket. No.
I swear I'm a human blanket. I feel like
Oh,
I've done
God.
that.
I'm a human blanket.
I think
Like,
I've
he's
done
just
that.
being annoying now at this point. Like, now
Yes,
it's not
just
even
get
fucking
off
funny.
me.
Get off me.
Good night.
Good night. Never mind.
So
Just
then-
trying to talk about how good of a relationship we have. God damn it.
So the next day he goes down to the San Francisco Globe to put an announcement in the paper
Mm-hmm.
for his parents' anniversary.
Right. And he hears about how Ralph Elliott, who they thought moved on to Dallas.
There's an obituary.
Yes, he was found in a sewer. He's been there the whole time.
Ooh.
Take your life too seriously, your business too seriously, you end up down the sewer. Ha!
And so they're all joking around the obituary guys.
Right.
And he walks up and wants to know about the wife, and they take it like,
Michael Richards takes it too far, much like he did
no,
on stage
they
that one
didn't
time.
mention the wife.
Yeah, but I know, I get it. We're talking about real people here.
He's like, no. But did they mention the wife?
Yeah,
So later, Charlie meets Harriet in the park because it's just safer there.
right. And he breaks up with her, and she's like, "Well, like why?" And he was like, "Because you're gonna leave me.
I'm gonna cleave you.
I'm gonna cleave you."
No, leave me, reject me.
Right. So I'm gonna do it first, a preemptive strike. And she's
Okay,
like,
so
"All right,
you're
well,
rejecting me,
Okay, well, is that it then? Because I got to get back to work.
and she just walks away.
Right.
So he has a little poem that night about Harriet.
He's miserable. Woman.
Whoa, man.
Whoa, man. We had love, not just sex. Is she Mrs. X? I had to run for my life.
And he looks at her picture and he pauses.
Wistfully,
Jane.
Jane, get me off of this crazy thing called love.
He picks up the candle.
Does not blow her
He
out.
looks at her face and puts
Nope.
that lit candle right back
Puts
down
it right
again.
down.
So then he's lounging. This is the
Deep.
only moment we get of his apartment. He's up on
Yes.
the rooftop the next day, lounging
Right.
on his rooftop.
Yep.
And Tony calls, and you see just this little glimpse
Just
of
this window,
corner
a
of his
panoramic
apartment.
view of the skyline that he has in his bookstore owner's
that's
apartment.
the bookstore. It's just his apartment.
Right, that's what it is.
So Tony calls to tell him someone turned themselves in for the killing of Ralph Elliott.
Right. So hey, great. I just
So
want you to-
shit, he
he's like,
gets
well,
in
what
the
about
car
the other
Gia and
murders?
hauls
He's like,
ass.
I don't know about the other murders, but
Yeah.
this is like she's not Mrs. X. So he runs out, and Rose sneaks up on him.
Oh,
Ah!
It's like, she's scary.
And at first she's like, "No, you rejected me." And
yeah,
he's like,
and you'll do it again.
Yeah, like I love you too, but you blew it.
You blew it.
Later.
So he brings the jazz band to her window.
Comes to her window.
And we still have never done our
Nope. No,
Bloody Melissa. God damn it. And he has a poem just for Harriet.
Harriet, hard-hearted harbinger of haggis, beautiful, bemused, bellicose butcher, untrusting,
Boom, boom, boom.
unknowing,
Dum, dum, dum.
unloved.
Ed?
He wants you back, he screams into the night air
like a
like a
fireman going to a window that has no fire.
except the passion of his heart.
I'm lonely. It's really hard. This poem sucks. And yes, it did sound like Christopher Walken pointed out.
Unknowing.
Untrusting.
Unlove.
Ed? So she beckons him over. He does his little smirk and saunters over to the window.
Yes.
And
he
the
has
next
a
thing-
book.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, they're in the bathtub together.
Yep, they make up. They're in that big ass bathtub in her big ass place.
I know.
That's why we never see his place, because her place is so
Yeah,
fucking
why
amazing.
leave?
Why, right? That's why they got back together. But like, you know
He's
what?
like, actually, that real estate, yo.
that
Let me
bathtub,
get up in that
though.
bath.
Right. So, Rose comes up and is like, "You got a visitor."
And he
Someone's here
picks
to
up
see-
that shower
Yeah.
thing.
Yes,
She'll be
hello?
down in a moment, actually, yes.
Bring the car around.
And who's down there?
It's Ralph.
Oh, and he's so excited. He runs down in his towel. He gives her a big old hug.
I'm naked, aren't I? He does more of that.
And
Mike
she puts
Myers
her
shit.
hand down and
Yeah,
touches
like,
his butt cheek.
Yep.
And I was just naked just now.
Yes,
Very
it's
nude.
just very nude.
And hey, nice cakes, Mike Myers.
Yeah,
Not bad.
all right.
Not bad.
You know what? Mike Myers could get it.
He could.
He could.
So yeah, he's like all embarrassed, backs away, picks his
Right,
towel
up he
up.
goes up the stairs, and anyway, cut to the anniversary party at the
Cock of the North.
and toast to my wife May. We said I do 30 years ago and haven't agreed on anything since.
But I'm glad I married you.
Could have been worse.
And besides, I still love
ya.
you.
Aw, they're cute.
So they go to dance, but Charlie stops her
Right,
and
he's,
proposes.
marry me.
And
no,
she's like, nope.
he's like, please. She's like, no, let's just live together. We don't have to get married. Like, we just live together. And he's like, no, I
want you to have
love
my
you
children and your children. And that sounds
seems
like an
a lot of
awful lot of
children.
children.
And then
Shut your cake hole.
Yeah, Dad looks over there and he toasts to Charlie, like, thank you for the party. And
Yes.
I hope that you have 30 years of happiness.
And she tells him, yes, I'll marry you.
Right.
So cut to the wedding. We don't know how long this
No, we
went
don't know
on.
how long it takes. The dress is pretty. The kilts
And
are
yes,
nice.
he's got the kilt. And why is Rose in a
I
kilt?
don't know, because
She's
she
not
wanted
Scottish.
to be involved. I don't know. Maybe she is.
And yeah,
What do
her
we know?
side of the family is very sparsely attended.
Right. Like, it's just,
There's no
like, they don't
parent.
have any friends there.
And it doesn't seem like any of their friends came to the reception. That seemed like it was all Charlie's family
And Tony.
and Tony.
And Rose.
Yes.
And that's it,
That's it.
I guess.
And when it's her turn to say I do, there's this long
She
pause.
hesitates.
But once she says I do, she grabs him and kisses him and he raises his leg like a little cartoon lady.
Let's get pissed!
So at the reception, if you think I'm sexy and you want my body. Oh, I hear that in my head every time that song
Yes.
plays.
We've got a paper down. A paper down.
I repeat.
He's just pissed.
And Mom's molesting Tony on the
Oh
dance
my
floor.
God,
like,
like-
whoa.
She's trying to sink a ditch.
She is. She's trying to get a little up in that booty hole.
She's trying to get up in that booty
She's
hole.
trying to get the pink and
May.
the stink. May.
There is no pink. There is only stink, and that's all she wants.
She saw them men in kilts and was like, hey,
She's trying to get
easy
all up in his
access.
Anthony LaPaglia.
I know. Oh, Heather LaPaglia. Is that you?
Anthony LaPaglia.
Harriet gets the mic and starts singing.
Only you. And then in French.
Oh no! She's
And then
singing
in
another
Espanol.
languages.
Oh,
shit! She beckons him over, and the way she's grabbing his cheeks, solo tu. She's just like gripping his face.
He's like,
So on their way to the honeymoon, they're on the Golden Gate Bridge. She's very quiet on the ride over.
she's dressed like a Black Panther.
Yes, she is. She's ready for some
She
shenanigans.
looks like Beyonce at that halftime.
She's about to
show.
break into some shit.
Right?
And
She's
so
been
he's gonna
kidnapped and brainwashed by the SLA. She's gonna rob a bank.
And so he is going to talk for her, and he does that thing where he's doing her mouth. You're great, Charlie. Everything
You're a
you do is
sex
art.
machine.
You're a sex machine.
I
Get on, sex machine.
on the scene.
You're the best husband I ever had.
Hey,
And
why
she's
would
like,
you say that? He's like, I was just
Just being funny.
Just kidding. I thought it would be funny.
And
It
she
was just
almost
a joke.
wrecks them, thrusting
Right?
herself at him
That
in the
is
car.
the one. You
That
got to
was
be careful up
dangerous.
there.
But to have a
If I'm about to have a what? Is it another LaPaglia?
I know what you did last summer moment on them windy roads.
Oh shit! They're gonna hit somebody. They're
Right?
gonna have to ditch the body, and then they're gonna know what you did.
Last summer.
I know. So you married.
I know what you
an
did on your
axe-murderer
honeymoon
last
summer. So the captain comes in yelling at Tony.
Yes, he
Stay out of this. It's
And, like,
strictly homicide.
Tony's getting hot for it. He's
Yeah,
like,
he
"Ooh,
is.
Yeah,
Back
Cap,
away,
like,
Italian boy. It's
Yeah,
too
hey,
big for
paisan.
you.
it's too big for you.
Turns out the lady who confessed to Ralph's murder confessed to some other murders.
Yeah, like who?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
Warren G.
shit.
Harding.
She's a
Julius
loon.
Caesar. Caesar.
Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar.
She's in a case. And he like slams him against the wall
I
and
know,
shit. He
and,
goes
like,
hard.
Fucking Tony is fully erect at this moment.
Yes,
He's
he
like,
comes back in.
"Yes!"
I loved it. I loved it.
I love it.
Fantastic.
No notes.
No notes. Do it again, but harder.
But harder.
So Tony sends this photo of Harriet out to a friend, apparently, of Ralph
Right, like all-
Elliott's,
yeah.
of the martial arts guy, which none of these other people get a name.
No,
The
but
martial
I do love
arts
how
guy
the
and the
martial
Atlantic
arts
City
guy's
guy.
friend is like, oh yeah, but she's put on a lot of weight since then.
Which, come on now,
She was like 108,
to begin with, apparently.
but she's like 108 now.
I know,
teensy.
she's not, yeah, she's not very big.
Those aren't big people,
So they get to Poet's Corner, they're checking in, and she starts getting weird.
right?
Don't move. She's going to go get some aspirin.
Yeah.
She's got a headache.
Oh, do you think she really has a headache?
And he's like,
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
And so we get a little back and forth because while
Mhm.
this is happening, Tony's over here figuring out what's happening.
Right. He's trying to call, but the phone lines are down because there's a storm.
And the cop comes out to yell some ethnic slurs at him, but he
He's
has
like-
no time.
No,
Great,
he's
it's
like-
great stuff, but I gotta
Right.
go.
He's like, I'm just in a hurry. Like all the ethnic slurs are not too much. I gotta go. Like right now.
And then we see Harriet pull out a little chain from her powder compact.
She's
with
in
all
her,
wedding
feels,
rings.
right? And Tom. That's what my writing looks like. Tony look like a big M,
Charters a plane,
right? And he's flying up with Stephen Wright.
who has never flown at night and has no
Nope.
sense of time.
The artificial horizon is better than the actual horizon.
And he falls asleep at the
Right?
wheel.
He's like, you're,
He's
what,
having
you're
a
sleeping?
great dream, man.
Oh my god.
And so they land, and Charlie gets they did just sat down to dinner when Charlie gets an urgent call from town,
Right.
and it's Tony calling to tell him, by the way, Harriet's Mrs. X.
Right. It's her. It's got to be her. The person that.
And he's
confessed.
like, she could probably hear
I
him.
know,
They're
like,
that
she's like,
close.
I could hear him. I
Like,
mean, I
should
guess-
he have not said at least, can you go somewhere private? 'Cause I
Right.
need to
Like,
tell
are you
something?"
alone?
Yeah.
Are you in the middle of the dining room right now?
Right?
On a princess phone?
And the lines go down, and he starts panicking.
Right. He's like, the cops are coming, but everything
click,
goes
click,
down and
yeah.
whatever. And Harriet's like, what happened? What's going on?
What's going
Like, what-
on? And they start playing Only You for the
Oh,
couple.
shit. Now there's these traditions. There's like a whole fucking situation.
And then Tony tries to commandeer a vehicle from Charles Grodin, but guess what?
No. No, I don't think so.
I know my rights.
I know my rights. You don't have any right to do that. You know, he's so good at being like
Yes.
utterly annoyed
He is.
at all times.
And don't worry, yes, we're going to do Clifford. It's coming.
Yes, we're gonna do that, of course.
It's coming.
It's coming. Just relax.
So the lights go out at the hotel, and Charlie screams,
Ah,
you gotta help me. I married a
lovely
woman.
person.
Yes, because it's Harriet when the
Ah,
lights go
wonderful
on.
person. Oh no, the honeymoon chair. To the room. To the room.
So they carry him to their room in this big chair, and
Right.
Charlie tries to invite the bellboy in for a
Right?
nightcap.
He's like, you want to stay for a night? Stay for a
Come
nightcap.
in for a nightcap, and
He's like,
"Ah!"
I'm not trying to do that swinger shit.
Right? He runs off,
Right.
and Harriet pulls him in and locks the door.
She wants to tell him the truth.
I've been married before.
I know. You know about my husband's? Like he's like, stay away from
He
me.
picks up the axe from the fireplace, like, stay away.
Right. He's like,
And she's confused. She's like,
right. She's
what
like,
are you
wait,
doing?
Wait, what are you talking about? Like he's chasing her.
And
she's
Charles
chasing
Grodin
him.
delivers Tony, so he drove him since he wouldn't let him commandeer his
He's
vehicle.
sitting there like tapping on the fucking thing.
yeah. And then he's like, can you wait for
stop?"
me? And he's like, no.
No. He
No,
just
I'm not
leaves.
doing that.
He's like, ah.
So Charlie
yeah.
gets Harriet locked in a closet and is trying to use the phone, but it's still
Right.
dead.
Right. But
And
he
that's when he sees
notices
this
the
note.
note, and it's from him.
saying that he's leaving Harriet.
Right.
And he's like,
and
what?
He looks behind him, and it's
Woo!
fucking Rose
In her Patrick Bateman finest.
Oh my God, she is.
She's in fucking Patrick
She
Bateman
is.
gear.
She's gonna be like, it's hip to be square.
I wrote this note, and you're not supposed to be in the room
once
when
it
the
has been
note
placed
has
on
been
the
written.
table.
She gives me Willy Wonka.
Oh my God,
Right
she gives me
there,
Amanda
that-
Plummer.
Yep. Yeah.
She's giving me a lot of Amanda Plummer right now.
If Amanda Plummer's really nice and normal, that would be weird.
How many plums could an Amanda Plummer plum if Amanda Plummer could plum plums?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an answer. As
I
many
don't know.
plums as an Amanda Plummer could. She'd plumb as many plums as an Amanda Plummer could plumb. So you took her away from me like all the rest.
Right, but
You're
now
going to die.
Harriet can see this shit, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
so she's in the closet with the little slat. So she now sees like, holy shit,
she's
my
like,
sister's
oh shit,
like
it's
insane.
Rose. This whole time it's been my sister.
And so they struggle. He goes out the window onto the roof, and they have a little roof chase scene.
Yes, it's
And
like a whole
fucking
situation.
Tony.
I know. He comes in, he busts open the door. Harriet, well,
And she's locked in the closet screaming for Charlie,
Yes.
which, okay, I see how
right,
in this moment, why he
Of
did
course,
what he did.
Absolutely.
Pulls her out, he
absolutely.
handcuffs her.
Mhm.
But you can now hear
He's got her sat
Charlie
down,
screaming.
he's like smoking, and you can hear him
Yes!
chopping.
Take it
She's like,
downtown.
that's them right there.
You can hear
not hear
chop,
ah,
chop,
ah.
the whole time. And he's still trying to be fucking Serpico in here.
Tony
Grilling her.
Tony has done it again.
He has, yes, fucked it up, if that's
Yes,
what done
that's
it
what
means.
I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So, yeah, meantime, this is getting crazy up on the roof. She'd be axe throwing and shit.
That's that iconic shot. I remember that.
Yes,
being,
of him
the thing
peeking
that-
over the roof.
where it was like when she throws it at him.
Totally.
And now Harriet's being let out in cuffs, and she spots Charlie now on the roof.
Right, and she's like, "Be careful!" And finally, Tony looks up, like,
And-
"Oh shit, Charlie's on the roof, and Rose is
I'm
chasing
coming
him with
up.
an axe."
Yeah, oh shit. So Tony's coming up. Rose is right behind him. They struggle. He gets kicked in the nards.
He kicks her right in
back.
the fucking pussy.
Cunt punt. And now he's dangling off. Or no, she's dangling
he
off.
swings her over, and she's hanging on by his arm.
Right.
And Tony gets to the
grabs
window,
her,
grabs her,
whatever.
pulls her in. She
Mhm.
gets
He bangs
arrested.
her head on the way in. It's like, oh, sorry.
And so our ending is a poem about Rose.
Rose, jailbird, happy in her cage, no longer in a rage, she roosts. Ah!
Yes. Harriet,
Sweet Harriet, you acted cuckoo because you thought I would leave you. Sweet bird. Ah!
Harriet,
Sweet Harriet, so knowing, dun dun dun, so trusting, ba-dum bum bum, so love Ed.
There she goes. We go the same way we came.
There she goes, the same way she came in, she leaves.
She do.
Yes, she do.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what this movie doomed to me, except for to have most of fucking Mike Myers' dialogue
Repertoire.
in my fucking vernacular on
Yeah.
a day-to-day basis.
That's what we did before memes. Same.
But yes, this is I love this movie.
I do. I really
I'll
do.
always
It's
love this movie. It's
so
fun.
much fun. It's so much fun.
Even though we did find some glaring potholes, like
Well,
how he doesn't have to do anything all
right?
day,
Like
and
how
just
we never
tool
even
around
realized that
San
he may or may
Francisco.
not have a job.
Right?
Well, in 1993, I certainly wasn't thinking about what do they pay in rent. What
No,
do they pay in
because I was
mortgages?
13 or 14
What are their
when this
bills
came out.
like? Yeah, like I wasn't thinking about shit like that. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I wasn't thinking about nothing.
So I don't think we have any yearbook signings this week, but we got to do the Doom Biz.
Yep. Give it
So
to 'em.
Instagram, Doom Generation Pod, that's where you get all them sweet movie edits. And
So
in
good.
the bio for the Instagram is the link tree with all the links to all the things, including our Patreon, including our music playlists
Oh shit!
from the soundtrack music of the movies we loved.
There She Goes will be on there.
Yes, once this comes out, that'll be on there.
Spin Doctors probably too, even though I won't listen to it.
You can email us doomgenerationpod at gmail.com. No, doomgenerationpodcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can send us a voicemail or a text at 702-720-DOOM.
Reach out and touch us.
702-720-3666. Send us a message. Do it. And until then,
Talk to you next time.
later, Doomers.